Luke Skywalker, one of the most iconic characters in the Star Wars films, is making a return in The Last Jedi, and recently Disney Insider had a lot of questions that got answered by Mark Hamill himself. This is Mike Zero here once again. If you guys are new here to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, it is greatly appreciated. Now, not too long ago, we did learn a little bit more about Luke Skywalker's mindset in The Last Jedi, and Mark Hamill did tell us not too long ago that he's a very disillusioned character, and as we go into The Last Jedi, we will learn more about that. Now, recently, Disney Insider caught up with Mark Hamill, and they had some questions to ask him that were thankfully answered and cleared a lot of things up, and one of the big questions had to do with Luke Skywalker being a dark character, and Mark Hamill wanted to clarify things about Luke and the dark side. So here is what Disney Insider had to ask Mark Hamill, and here is also what Mark Hamill had to say. So the question was, Luke has been described as dark in this film. Would you agree? The answer by Mark Hamill is, in Star Wars The Force Awakens, Luke has lost confidence in his ability to make good choices. It haunts him to the core, but he hasn't gone to the dark side. This isn't an evil version of him, but it's still an incarnation of the character I never expected. It has pulled me out of my comfort zone. It's a real challenge. So, this is actually not a huge surprise. I know it was a big discussion ever since we saw Luke Skywalker looming all the way in the back in front of all of our characters on the theatrical poster, and also that IMAX standee when we have both Luke Skywalker on the dark side and the light. Now, I do want to point this out, that though Luke Skywalker may not turn to the dark side in this film, or is a part of the dark side of the Force, I honestly do believe that this thing on the IMAX standee is all about balance. And I think that if it's not about balance, alright, if anything, it could be simple misdirection for the fans to get fans wondering, to really stir up the mystery as we go into Star Wars The Last Jedi. It could be one of the two, or it could mean something else entirely. We have heard from EW, Entertainment Weekly, in the past, a couple of months ago I would say, they did say, can Rey save Luke from his darkness? And I believe that this all has to do with his dark past, obviously. Maybe it's just a form of symbolism when he's on that side of the theatrical poster, or the theatrical standee, I should say, in the dark side version of that. I believe it could very well also be symbolism of Luke Skywalker still being heavily attached to that dark past of how his nephew betrayed him and how he turned to the dark side of the Force. So overall, guys, it's really interesting to know that Luke Skywalker hasn't turned to the dark side. And I know that he didn't flat out say, you know, in this film he will or will not turn to the dark side of the Force, but he made it pretty clear that Luke Skywalker, as of right now, hasn't turned to the dark side, and in this movie isn't an evil version of him. So I believe right then and there it does tell us that Luke does not turn to the dark side in The Last Jedi. Yes, it was something very interesting to discuss and to essentially think about because of all the things that we did see here and there. I know even Mark Hamill back in the day wanted to see a dark side version of Luke Skywalker. Of course, though, I don't think that they're going to do something with that after a character has gone through so much trouble of his nephew leaving him, and how he witnessed his own nephew turning to the dark side, as well as his father in the past. You know, yes, he did get redeemed, but now his nephew is, you know, a part of the dark side. Unlike his father, which he was able to redeem, it seems like this was one of Luke Skywalker's big failures, that he wasn't able to essentially pay enough attention to that raw power, that raw strength. And once again, in that trailer, when he says, you know, I've felt this raw strength only once before, or I've seen this raw strength only once before, and I think that's all pointing towards Kylo Ren. I think Luke Skywalker ignored that power, and he essentially gave it the benefit of the doubt, and things turned really ugly too fast, and Luke Skywalker regretted of how he thought of his, nephew, Kylo Ren, Ben Solo. So guys, drop a comment below, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments section, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.